Hello, let me get
Hello.
situated here. Hi, happy
Oh my
holidays.
goodness. How are you? How are you?
Bless, bless,
And listen,
bless.
listen, before we even get started, because the people are already blowing up the phone as soon as I posted it. Let me tell you, you're gonna always in my eyes, these 40 plus year old eyes, be my commissioner, District 5.
Well,
Hands down.
actually, that's factual because once you're the commissioner or the mayor, no matter if you're in office or out, you're always the commissioner. Maybe not current,
Right.
just former, but you're always that.
Exactly.
So you're
Exactly.
absolutely. So I was just clarifying, not just in your eyes, but
Right.
on paper, period. You can't take that away.
You can never, president, governor, whatever,
Never.
you can never take it
Yes.
away.
Right.
So
Right.
first of all, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for just making yourself available, because I know you still popping around town. You still out in the
Yeah.
community, you're still serving the people. And you were actually, they don't know this, the viewers, but you were actually ill. So I don't know if you're still ill. From a few days ago, we checked in with each other. You weren't feeling well.
Yeah. But so thank you. So excuse I don't have on makeup. I'm not beat to the gods. But
Hey,
yeah, I'm recovering. I didn't have the flu, but I had a really bad
yeah,
bug. Thank
yeah,
goodness I got my flu shot last month. So it wasn't
yes,
as bad as it could have been. But
it
of
is flu
course,
season.
you know,
Yeah.
when Keisha called, you humble yourself and you push through it, and you just you show up, whether it's in Georgia or Atlanta, California, whatever, because that's what you do. You show up. So
Yes,
I
yes.
just felt the desire to oblige myself because you've always from day one just been a supporter of District 5 and the community and just people abroad. So I want to be there for you because you're always there for everyone.
Oh, thank you. Don't make me cry, because my day done been long. It's been
Yeah.
hectic. I got a few loved ones in the hospital I checked on today. So I've been ripping and running. But thank you, because sometimes we need to hear that.
Oh,
Thank you. But
absolutely.
I'm going
And
to tell the people why.
the holidays are really rough
Really,
for
really rough.
people.
They're really
Yeah.
rough. So I'm going to tell you, well, the people, I'm going to tell you why, and also why they're popping in. And I forgot to put my phone on do not disturb because I see texts coming in. But anyway, I want to tell the people why you are so important to me, because you show up for me. You've always showed up for Flavor. And if people aren't familiar with Flavor, we showcase a variety of categories: music, fashion, theater. We've had workshops, we've had so many different genres of entertainment, versus also outreach as well. I can't leave that out because that's our main mission. But no matter what, you've always been there. I remember when Atlanta, I could not even put you on a plane. You was just, oh my God, you are such an alpha female. You refused to take my little bitty bitty money. You wanted to drive yourself, put yourself in a hotel, and also served on the backhand, which we won't discuss that because people get funny with money and all this other stuff. She didn't help me, she didn't whatever. But you've always been there for me. I cannot even think of a time that you weren't. I even remember one time we had an event where you contacted me. You was like, why I'm not on there? Like, my feelings are hurt. Like, no. And I felt so bad because I felt that I was looking out for you because you're always so busy. So thank you for always making yourself available for us. So I want to go ahead and get into the interview because I know people have been waiting on it. There have been some things that have been said, whatever. So tonight we're just going to have a conversation. We're going to be open, and as I told you before, be yourself, because we are. That's why we love you.
Well,
That is
well,
why. This is why we love Regina Hill, because you are who you are. It's no
yeah.
duplicates. Can't nobody touch you. I don't know what's going on back in Orlando. I'm not there. I can only speculate. I can only go by what I've heard, but I don't get caught up in that. I know you. I know your heart because you've proven that to me over and over. So it don't even matter what's going on back home. So let me put on my 40 plus year old glasses and we're going to get to these questions. But before we
Yeah.
get to these
And just like
questions,
in the era of transparency, these questions are unscripted. I don't know what you're gonna
yes,
ask, and I wanted it like that. I told you no. whatever you want to talk about. I want to oblige myself and feel free. I'll just,
Yes.
be my authentic self. But briefly, because I've shared this also on my page. Before you get to the questions,
Okay.
many of the viewers might not know who Keisha
Mhm.
Rivers is. So can you tell them? Because I believe in Keisha Rivers from day one, the mission, the myth, and all that you have done. Like you said, from entertainment to coaching to juvenile justice to community outreach. So I want you to share who you are prior to you asking me questions and to tell about myself, so my viewers can know why I'm even like limping around and said I got to be here for Keisha. So they'll
Oh,
know how special you are.
thank you. So Keisha is a country girl just living off of city dreams. I knew I was called to inspire and change people's lives when I was 14 years old. I had already gone through a book of things what probably an adult would go through, from adoption, not saying that's a bad thing, adoption, molestation, rape, domestic violence, you name it, I've been there. I've done that. So I wanted to make sure growing up, the talents that my parents allowed me to have in my life is being a superior drum major, being in the gospel choir, being a cheerleader, all those wonderful things my parents encouraged me to do and never told me no one day to pour back into someone else despite what I was going through. Because we can look so good on the outside, but the inside is going to eventually pour out. Not saying, oh, I'm a victim. I was, but I didn't always. You made me mad. Hey, I corrected you too in some ways that I shouldn't have. But the ultimate goal for Keisha Rivers is to make sure that we, or me, set the standard. Okay, it don't matter what you look like. You could be a queen on the outside, but let's work on the inside. Let's build that confidence. Let's help you have a start reaching your divine destiny. That's what Keisha Rivers wants to just inspire the world to do. I did work with the Department of Juvenile Justice for 10 plus years, and I started at the age of 19. And that is actually what provided me structure and order. It did. Watching my parents, my mom, she has her doctorate degree in nursing. My dad has always been a licensed minister and now pastor. So watching them become their own entrepreneurs once my mom retired and all of that, just my dad's always been an entrepreneur. Anyway, watching that inspired me. I want to help somebody, come up. I want to help somebody.
Right.
But even with that, you still have to set aside and help yourself. So I believe in this season, after everything I've done from Department of Juvenile Justice, Flavor, and it's still here. It's just in a different season, 17 years and counting. Thank you, Lord. Keisha right now in her season is, okay, what's the next level? The next level is Conversations with Keisha Kente, different hosting events. I didn't even ask for that. People have been hearing my voice here in California. You need to do voiceovers. You need to, da, 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 da. You just never know who God will place in your life to help you with that next season. And then also the ministry that he's imparted in me with adoption, with search. I've always had a passion to help people find loved ones. And that came from my biological mother helping me find different ones. She's always been honest with me, period. So that inspired me to help other people find their loved ones. And it's been so successful. We started a journey on Facebook. September 1st, we launched our very first Facebook community space, searching for loved ones. And it's almost at, we're about 20 members away from being 500 people. We're
Oh,
giving away ancestry kits. We've given away in the past. I've personally helped people find their loved ones in the past. Nothing, no strings attached. I don't want no money. It's just something that I feel that's the next level for Keisha Rivers. And we do have
your
some other,
ministry. It's your
yes,
ministry.
exactly. It's the ministry. And we do have some other things that I can't say right now that are coming for that ministry. So I'm happy about that. So right now it's just a different season for
Congratulations.
me. Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank
And I
you.
think you forgot to tell them that you're out there on the big screen and doing acting and things of that nature, which I'm super proud of you because I remember the conversation we had almost 5, 6 years ago, and you said you're getting ready to pack up everything and follow your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, knowing it, no one, and going out to California,
Nobody.
and God
Mm-hmm.
has created so many open doors and platforms for you to survive and thrive, not just
Yes.
survive. And we know that is where people dreams die.
Yes.
Some multiple people go out to LA with these big dreams of stardom and don't even, and God has shown you favor.
Yes, he has. And
Even to
I
be on the Oprah movie, The Color Purple.
yes, I'm just so honored and
Yes.
grateful. And a lot of people always say, Keisha, you never talk about yourself. You never put it out there. I do say certain things and I post certain things, but I'm so glad and thankful that you're giving me a platform because I
Yeah.
do forget. I do
Yeah.
forget. I do. And I don't know why I do. It's just, I don't know.
Because you just, but that's who you are. You are similar to myself. I think God blesses us to bless others, and
Yeah.
it's not about us. It's about giving others opportunities, other people opportunities in the platforms that God has given us so
Yeah.
that they can rise. And He will
Yes.
continue to do the same for you
Yeah.
because of you giving others access and opportunities and not making it about you. So, with that, I'm glad you were able to talk about Keisha,
Yes.
because I think that's where what my gift is to highlight others. Um,
Yes.
and so, yeah, here we go.
See why it's unscripted, y'all? Because I wasn't expecting that. So, with that being said,
Let's put
let's
on
get
your
into it.
grandmama glasses and your good readers and have at
Let's
it.
get into it. Okay. So, I want them to know with the first question. I've given them a little bit, but
Okay.
who is Regina Hill? Were you born? Who raised you? Your career span? I know some things, and we ain't gonna tell them how I know, but I know. But who's Regina Hill?
Well, actually, similar to your introduction, I'm just a little country girl that was from Tavares, Florida, raised on lakes and orange groves, and ran through the woods as a little girl, and also suffered some trauma, I believe. My mother and father divorced when I was 5 years old, and at that time it was a community of the haves and the have-nots. Now, my grandfather, which was which on my daddy's side, that comes from Sumter County, was a very wealthy, hardworking farmer that owned hundreds and hundreds of acres there in Sumter County. Now the village is actually, and you know that part. Um, but my grandmother, my mom's side, she was a young girl that came to Tavares at 13 years old and brought her first home at 13. So I come
What?
from, yes. And so
Oh,
my uncle still resides there. They demoed it and he rebuilt it. So that home and that land will be in my maternal part of my family now, going on 100 plus years,
wow.
and the land
Mm-hmm.
that we owned in Lady Lake with my grandfather over 100 plus years. So my uncles and aunts were teachers, and my aunt's a nurse. So I come from educators and those in the medical field.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Father was a truck driver, but when I say we divorced, when my father and my mother divorced, uh, she had to leave me with some play cousins. And, in the country, you call them
Mm-hmm.
auntie, uncle, cousin,
Yes.
and they're really not
Mm,
relatives, right?
right,
But
right.
that's what they
Commissioner Hill, I want to stop you one moment. I'm sorry. They're saying for David Stone is saying to back up just a bit. Your eyes are cut off. And then someone else texted and said, could you back up just a little bit because they can't see your screen?
How about now?
David,
Can
is
you
that
see?
okay?
Oh, Lord. Is that better?
I'm waiting on his
I
response.
can see. Can you see me?
I see you perfectly fine.
Yeah, I see myself perfect too. I don't know.
Okay, so he hasn't said anything, so we can. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just wanted
No
it to be good for
problem. No
everybody. Yeah.
problem. I see a
Yeah.
mosquito. No problem. But
Oh, he
nevertheless,
said it's fine. He just responded.
okay,
Yeah.
what nevertheless,
Mhm.
and so with that, my mother, which had just meager earnings because we lived in wood houses over there in the country or what have you,
Yeah.
she came to Orlando and got a higher education and started working for, at that time, Sunbank, and came back and got me and my siblings, and we moved to Paramore. That's how I arrived in Paramore at 9 years old,
Yes.
in here in Orlando, which was a whole different atmosphere for me.
Hmm.
But found friends and then new people to call family to a degree, and
Yes.
matriculated through elementary school, junior high here, and high school, of course, the Great Jones High.
Hmm.
And then I went off to the military, the
Yep.
Navy, the
Hmm.
greatest armed forces in the world.
Thank you
Uh,
for your service. Thank you.
and came back home, bumped my head a few times after, fell down and wiped myself off,
Hmm.
and I would say 1991 kind of turned it all around and became a nurse's aide. I was on the rolls of welfare and food stamps for a
Yeah.
while after I came home from the service, and tried to get myself back together after having our kids.
Hmm.
And then became a nurse for 25 years
Hmm.
prior to becoming city commissioner, and was the commissioner up until my tenure will end in January.
Hmm.
So that will make um, 12 years in
Hmm.
January that I'm the commissioner. And I like to tell people I'm still the commissioner. I'm suspended, unfortunately, but I still hold that title as commissioner.
Yes, ma'am. You sure do. And
And
you hold it
so,
well.
I know sometimes people get my story mixed up and they tell the
Hmm.
story, but they don't know
Right.
the story. I
And,
was a nurse. I wasn't someone that
hmm.
was underneath the tree with a Coke 45 and a stem in my hand, like they try to smoke a
Clock it.
crack, like the way they try to talk about it. No, for
Yes.
30, for 25 years, I was a nurse. And for the last 12 years, I was the commissioner, and I've been gainfully employed outside of 4 years when I was, out there trying to get to the bag the wrong way since
Right.
I was 12 years old. So I've been working my whole life.
Yes. And this is
Yes.
why we have this platform to let people know this is what it is. Hear it from the horse's mouth. So,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you for that. I learned some stuff too. Believe it or not, I learned some stuff. So,
So
especially about
so
your mama's
yeah. So
side.
so I call myself on being a servant at heart,
That's it. And you
serving my
are.
country, serving my community. And service is who I am,
Yes. And
and
you,
I enjoy it.
we can tell. We can tell. So, question number two: what was your experience like winning District 5 Commissioner Orlando, Florida in the past? What was your experiences been?
Well, it was exhilarating, but it wasn't just a win. It was a win for the people because I was counted out. Because, of course, like I said, I had started getting arrested in 86. I think I got my first arrest.
Right.
80, what was it? 89, I was convicted of sales and delivery and possession of cocaine as
Mhm.
a co-defendant.
Mhm.
Had marked money on me. They sold some drugs. I had the money. So I was also convicted.
Right.
And that what showed me how the judicial system, it was a certain type of most people that wouldn't have that would have been their first arrest, like it
Mhm.
was mine for a felony, would have gotten probation and adjudication withhold. Well, I was
Mm.
convicted the first time, and so
Really?
that's how. Yeah, that's
Mm.
a public defender, so you get what you pay for.
I tell you.
Um, and so that was for me. Uh, the most crushing thing ever for me, and I tell you why, because I could no longer vote. And I
Mm.
always took pride in voting since I
Right.
was 18 years old.
Mhm.
So when my rights to vote was taken away, I truly felt like a second class citizen.
Mhm.
So one of my things that I always wanted to do was get my rights back to vote. And so I think it was in 93, some 93, 95, something of that nature. Maybe in the 2000s, whenever Charlie Chris was the governor,
Mm-hmm.
he restored my rights. And so that was when things started to turn around, because now I could
Mm-hmm.
become a nurse. Again, I
Yes.
could become a nurse. Um, I could vote again. I could engage in civic things that regular people do, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's why it was so big when I did some other work with Desmond Meade with
Mm-hmm.
Florida Rights Restoration,
Right.
uh, uh, coming to about convicted felons and second chances.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it was exhilarating. But it was a horrible race, not as horrible as this one,
Right.
but uh, even after had been a nurse for 20 plus years, they brought my past back up
Mm-hmm.
and it started to talk about me being a convicted felon, having arrests, never mentioning that I had turned it around and that I had been a
Exactly.
nurse 25 years. That
Mm-hmm.
never was discussed. And so we were able to change that narrative because, as I stated, Regina Hill wasn't who they was calling her. Regina Hill was someone's mom, someone's niece,
That's right.
someone's daughter, and
That's
that
right.
there were Regina Hills all over District 5.
Mm-hmm.
People that had made some poor decisions, had gotten it back together, and just need an opportunity to serve. Not looking for something,
Mm-hmm.
but wanting to be a part of a productive society. And so it was a win for the people. And because I had those struggles, because I had been on welfare, because I never had my own bedroom or lived truly in adequate housing, because I knew what it was to be denied access and opportunities, because I was a business owner that seeks city contracts and was turned around from minority participation, all
Mm-hmm.
those lived experiences helped me win that campaign.
Yes.
But
Yes.
then when I won, I was able to implement things for everyday people and
Mm-hmm.
also deal with those developers and those, and I would say that, was in bureaucracy because I had already served. I had served on
Mm-hmm.
many boards
Mm-hmm.
also. I was on a county board. I was appointed by, at that time, Commissioner Tiffany Russell Moore. At that time, she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't Russell, but and she put me on a public safety board
Yes.
because of my nursing background. And
Mm-hmm.
then I sat on the Urban League board and was serving with juvenile justice,
Mm-hmm.
social services, and utilizing my gifts and my talents in other
Yes.
spaces. And so
Yes.
that was the next level. So yeah, it was a big win for the people, and the people
Yes.
celebrated. For me, it was a big deal because I did what God sent me to do with no
Yes.
fear,
Mm-hmm.
even under the fire.
Right.
I didn't give up, even being ridiculed and talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in 2012 to 2014.
I remember that. I remember
Yeah,
that. But when you won, oh, the city went crazy. The
yeah,
city went crazy. And
yeah.
I'm just going to, put this out there. So many doubters. It was so many. But when you won, the city went crazy. We were happy. Everybody was happy. You
Yeah.
saw it on the news. You saw this one
Mm,
having a watch party, that one having a watch party. I
yeah.
was so happy for you. So happy.
Yeah, well, and then and that was some, you said doubters, uh, because they said, well, how can somebody from Paramore, somebody
Right.
like her, know anything about politics? Well, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know anything a whole lot about politics, but I knew about people.
But then you came around and changed
But
Paramore. Let's
I
clock
changed
that.
whole District 5.
You
Well,
sure
with great
did.
community partners, you can't
Yes.
ever do this work alone.
Yep.
But with partners and understanding how to advocate
Yes.
and fearlessly, we were able to transform, and we'll
Yes.
talk about that, to transform District 5 for the better. So the seeds in the ground are still sprouting up, but there's
Yes.
still brick and mortar things that, over 8,500 affordable housing units have been
Mm.
built under my leadership. We've put in two vocational training institutes
Mm-hmm.
partnering with Valencia, one in Paramore, Run in Mercy, where, you know, uh, they get stipends and you can
Mm-hmm.
get certificates from 6 to 26 weeks and start making up to $30 an hour.
Woo!
I created an employment program there
Yes, you did.
called Rise there at the city of Orlando. I was
Mm-hmm.
able to work with Desmond Meade and what we call when you used to have to check the box if you're a
Mm-hmm.
felon.
Right.
Well, we banned the box, and that meant
Mm-hmm.
that no city person coming to get a city job anymore, unless it was for firemen or
Mm-hmm.
public safety
Yeah,
or
public
something
safety.
to deal with kids.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to disclose your felony until you get to the interview. So
Mm-hmm.
now that gave people opportunities
Opportunities.
for
Yes.
for them to have an interview and tell their own story versus
Yes.
being labeled on a piece of paper.
To focus
You
on
know,
that versus, okay, this happened.
yeah,
No, focus on who I am. Give me a
yeah,
chance.
yeah. So there
So.
were millions and millions of dollars put into small businesses, primarily minority businesses there in
Mm-hmm.
District 5, West Lakes and Paramore, which we created a West Lakes Main Street to help
Mm-hmm.
small businesses, and a Paramore Main Street came underneath my leadership.
Mm-mm-mm.
Um, create Creative Village. Now you have UCF, Valencia,
Yep. Yep.
community school, and every child in Paramore goes to college free with the partnership of the Rosen Foundation.
See,
So
did
it's
they
just
know that? Did y'all know that? Can you repeat that again, Commissioner Hill?
that every
Every child.
child that grew up in Paramore goes to college free and get child care free. So now that their parents can go right down the street and go to college to get
Mhm.
a associate's degree,
Yep.
a bachelor's degree, or master's degree,
Mm.
along with getting vocational skill sets. And
Mm-mm.
that applies there in Paramore. And then that other vocational component goes out to the Mercy Drive corridor.
Yes.
Because many of these folks had transportation issues, and
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make sure that that wasn't an obstacle
Right.
so
Exactly.
that they can go right outside their front door and go
Yes.
to school. Because I believe the greatest equalizer is a job. And if
Yes.
I give them the opportunities and access to get a vocational training and skill
Mm-hmm.
sets, the sky's the limit from there. I
Yeah.
believe in hand ups, not handouts.
Yes.
But yeah. And not to mention all the youth programs and services that. But I tell you, I had a great partner,
Right.
and that great partner was Mayor Buddy Dyer.
Yes.
He
Yes.
trusted my leadership.
Yes.
He heard some of the desires, and he trusted my voice from the community and going and
Mm-hmm.
engaging in the community and bringing back information. And none of that would not have happened without Mayor Dyer's
Right.
leadership. So I
Mm-hmm.
pride myself on that. And I call it bridging
Yes.
the gap from City Hall
Mm-hmm.
to the community. And so it was a great opportunity, great time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still seeing things that I created and planned now, even as I've
Yes.
been suspended, still coming off the ground.
And that's so important to be reminded of vision, how
Yeah,
we have the ancestors. They weren't here to see that, but it's produced. You're here to
yeah.
witness. You're here to witness all of this that you've done, and not to brag or whatever, but I want people to know who you are versus what's this said and that. No, 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 no. You are so amazing, Commissioner Hill, because you so people. I can't answer right now, you guys. They're telling me to tell you they love you,
Oh,
and some people in the comments too saying they love you. But prime example right now, we love you. I see you, Dana. I see you, Maggie, Velma, whoever that was, and a few other people. I can't remember their names, but we love you. But moving on, because
yeah.
you've done so much. You've done so much, and just the person that you are.
Yeah,
And
like I continue to say, I went in with a 100-day plan, but the plan could not be done just because I had it. It
Yes.
was community
It was the community.
involvement.
Yes.
The
Yes.
community supported it. They backed me, and then community partners. So
Yes.
the public-private partnerships is really what transformed District 5 from business partners to educational partners
Hmm.
to HOAs.
Yep.
It was the people. It was us, the people, and it wasn't Democrats. It wasn't Republicans.
Right.
It
It was the
wasn't. It
people.
was
It
people,
was
and I
people.
prided myself with working on people and
Yes.
not being focused on politics.
And it's so funny that you said that because in my household with my parents growing up, we never discussed politics. We never discussed who we voted for. We never discussed anything. My parents just believed that's everybody's personal choice. So as I got older, I said, "Oh, I'm not going to discuss it, but people going to know. I'm going to say what I got to say." But then I realized as I got older, it is very important to tell people why you're voting, and the
Yeah.
candidates that are running. It's very important for them to petition for themselves. So we have a community group. We are Flavor Worldwide. We never discuss politics, but the Holy Spirit dealt with me on that. You can't say, "Oh, vote, vote, tell people to vote, go vote." And then I also work at the precincts myself as an FST every year. Why am I doing that? And I'm not allowing the candidates to say why it's important to vote. So
And
it's
then
so funny that you said it's not about Democrat. It's not about Republican. It's not about independent. It's about the people. It's about
yeah.
the community. So thank you for saying that. And I want to tell you this before we go to question two. If I can, you remind me a little bit of Cardi B. The reason why I say that, everybody loved Cardi B, even the people over there in Saudi Arabia and all these, everybody, because she's very authentic.
Yeah.
That is why the people love you. The ones that are going to stay with you, the ones that are going to stick with you, are the ones that know you. They love you. And I want to tell you that it's because of who you are,
Oh,
authentic.
thank you. Thank you. I
So,
need to hear that too.
yes, it's because, yep. So, moving on. So, why did you choose to run again in 2025 for District 5?
Well, I knew it was going to be well, for one, there's so much work to be done, and
Mm-hmm.
I knew what was left behind, and I know how to get those things done, and we did need a strong advocate.
Mm-hmm.
I do still believe that District 5 is on life support. That has not changed. I still believe we don't have the leadership that District 5 deserves, no matter what the vote outcome is. I'm talking about the wherewithal and how to get it done,
Right.
uh, and to lead. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
can stick a rat in the office
Someone
and put
said
a
someone
title
said
on.
tell you to come back. They said come back. They need you
Yeah.
back.
So you can stand a bobblehead in the office, and things are going to get passed
Mm-hmm.
regardless at
Mm-hmm.
that dais.
Exactly.
Decisions are going to get made. But right now, I went because I didn't want decisions to continue to get made without the people and
Exactly.
without someone that I thought truly knew the community, understand the heartbeat of the community, from the community. Um, uh, and understand bureaucracy. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I ran, because I love my community.
Mm-hmm.
I understood that it would be a tall hill to climb.
Yes.
As you know, in entertainment, media controls people's minds, thoughts, and
Yes.
the narrative that they spin. And
Mm-hmm.
I was in a precarious situation. I am in a precarious situation because it's not like I'm in a civil fight. I'm
Right.
in a criminal fight for my
Mm-hmm.
life,
Yes.
to prove my innocence. And so I couldn't really go out on the campaign trail to talk about my innocence and to
Right.
talk about my case because it's currently going on. And
Mm-hmm.
so that opportunity wasn't given, but the narrative that people would see for the last 2 years in the media, meaning mainstream media, was
Mm-hmm.
that I was a thief, I was a fraudster, and an elderly abuser, and a taker. And if you continue with that narrative continuously, people are going to believe it. And because I did have a past from the 80s and the early
Right.
90s, so they mesh those things purposely together and they say, see, she hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
See, but what the story never was told is that most of my arrest was for missing court, not having money to pay for probation, and
Mm-hmm.
traffic offenses.
Mm-hmm.
DUIs, suspended license, those things. I had never been since being born, and I'm 60. I turned 60 this year.
It looks so
N-
good.
well, thank you, sweetheart. But I've never been arrested for theft, never petty theft or
And they
whatever.
won't tell that.
Yeah, I bounced a check, and I think they called it theft or something. I bounced a $30 check, went to Publix and paid it at a different Publix. They didn't report it to the other one. Had to go to jail, turn myself in for that because they said I didn't pay the $30 check. So it was all little
Right.
misdemeanor, minute things that happen in our communities. And I'm not saying it was black or white crime. It's just, you know, it's just the way the cookie crumbled. But none of my things ever have I been. I had worked in homes for 10 years as a home health nurse.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in the hospital bedside, never been accused of harming not one patient or taking anything out of anybody's house. That's not who I am. So that was, that was harmful. Who wants to, it was a tough one. And then it was the nastiest campaign I've ever seen.
Mm.
They went to doors with mug shots of my face on it.
What?
AI generated AI generated things throughout social media, bribing people to lie and say that I've stolen from them. We found um mailers with the ugliest mugshot you can find. It was an awful campaign, but I kept going. I went back in the fire for my community, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I did pretty good because I didn't come in last place,
Right.
and I
Right.
was only I was
So
only
yes.
44. I'm only 44 votes away from a runoff. 44 votes
Yes.
was needed
Yep.
to
To
cancel
do the
that out.
runoff.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so, so to go through everything I've gone through the last 2 years and all of the worldwide media throughout the country,
Mm-hmm.
and particularly in Central Florida, consistently I have not told the whole story,
Right.
even though they have access to the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
But I was penned to be this awful person, and I didn't have money. When you run these campaigns and someone's running a malicious, nasty campaign, you need money. I
You
think
need money.
I raised, a few dollars here and there, but you needed about. I think my strongest opponent, even my weakest opponent, they had like 50, $60,000.
Mm.
Yeah, up to 80, and we're not talking about dark money. Some of them got, but yeah. So I did pretty well.
You did.
And I didn't
You did.
falter, and I'm still standing, and I'm
Yes, you
still
are.
working on the behalf of the people.
You
So
are.
that's why I ran. Make a long story short,
Yeah.
is the love of my community.
And just like you always say, continue to do the work. We're
You
continuing
got to
to do the
continue doing
work.
the work, regardless.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
indeed.
Okay. So we've already talked about what have you done in the past to change the community for the better. What would you like to say about the importance of voting? We touched on that just a little bit, but not
Oh,
go into depth with it.
indeed.
Mhm.
I think even if we would go back to this election right here, it
Mhm.
was such a low turnout. I think no more than almost 2,500 people showed up at the polls
That's
when there's 20,000 registered.
right.
So I see people at the stoplights. I see people in the grocery stores and saying, "Oh man, you got to run and you got to when can we vote for you?" I was like, vote is over with. It was
Right.
November 4th, right? It's over. I lost, so they say. Uh,
Right.
uh, and so I said, you got to vote. And people are having buyer's remorse because they did not go out to vote. And that's what happened when you don't go out to vote. You leave it to others in other
Yep.
communities that might
Mhm.
not have your same beliefs or your same needs to decide who's going to be your champion, who's going to be your voice. And so because many of people sat at home,
Mhm.
they really just thought it was going to be an automatic. Most people were surprised. Even I was,
I was. I'm
even I
not
was
gonna. I
surprised.
was so
Even
surprised.
I was a little, I was surprised.
Yes, I was up
So,
over here in California. Like I'm staying up. I'm staying
yeah,
up. I was
yeah,
surprised.
yeah. A lot of people were surprised,
Yeah.
but the biggest surprise should have been the lowest voter turnout. And
Exactly.
so it's very important to vote
Mhm.
because if you don't vote, you don't have a leader of your choice that believe in the same values or the agenda that you need to transform your community or your or what you need. And it's your voice,
Yes.
it's your it's a right. Once that right is taken, you'll see how important it was. When my
Exactly.
right to vote was taken, that means I could make a decision on what goes on in my neighborhood, what
Mhm.
goes on in my state, what goes on in my country. Right? Um, and so when you have that privilege right, that sacred right, where others have died, been
Yes.
crucified, mine is a political hit. What I'm going through right now is
Yes.
political. So when that happens and people put their whole lives on the line to
Mhm.
transform communities, and you decide you're just going to stay at home and say whatever happens happen,
Right.
well, you get what you vote for. Either it's nothing or it's something. So
And you know what my pet peeve is with that? Because I'm a registered voter, have been for a long time. But my pet peeve is when people say, "Oh, I'm not voting. It's not gonna matter. It's rigged anyway." But then when the results come, you get upset. Why were you even depending on the results? You were depending on the results.
you
So
are
why
the
would you even
result.
say
If
something
you
like
go,
that?
you are the result. All
That
right.
exactly.
Yeah, right. You
So
are the
my thing
result.
is get out and register. They're making it now so easy to vote. They're making it as soon as you get there before you vote, you can register. They're making it so easy now. There's really no excuses to register to vote. There really isn't.
Well, yeah, you
So,
can do it online and you can request your vote by mail. Now you don't even have to go into the
yeah, you
precincts to
don't.
vote. You
Mm-mm.
can just, and it's going to be very important. I mean, what's the other things that are important about voting? Your vote decide what funding come to your community.
Exactly. And people don't
Right? It, it
understand
it
that either.
really is. It
Hmm.
really is so important about monies and access in your community, and you vote for the person that can champion and make sure that your community continue to thrive.
That's right.
Uh, and the things that are important to you, whether it's social issues, economic issues, health issues, all those things are on the ballot.
Yes. And
It's
they don't
not just
understand that.
one thing.
Hmm.
Well, that's why it's going to be up to people like me and you for them to understand the importance of voting, because
Hmm.
you got to remember our my mama, your mama and daddy, their
Hmm.
mother and father that probably voted. They're going on,
Yeah.
and many of these things in this newer Gen Z generation in our community, meaning our Black community,
Hmm. Hmm.
just don't feel the need or urge to really go out and vote. Now, other communities, you will see a stronger presence of Gen
Yes.
Zers and millennials that
That
are
has been shown to be
engaged.
proven. Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that are
I agree.
engaged. And
Hmm.
so they're going to be the decision makers for Black folk.
Yeah. And it
And
should be
so
that way.
our Black youth need to really start to understand, but it's up to us to give them this information,
That's right.
right? So we have to do better. I don't blame the young folk a whole
Right.
lot.
Because they have to be taught.
They
Someone
have to
has
be
to teach
taught.
them. So yeah.
Someone has to bring them the information
Hmm.
and not just teach because they got a mind of their own,
Hmm.
but bring them the information
Yes.
and the tools so that they can make a conscious decision
Yes.
versus just something that, oh, I ain't gonna do this. It don't
Right.
make a difference. No, we got to break it down and show them why. And
Hmm.
once we show them, they will understand, and I think that they will.
Yeah.
Um, that was something that, I was when you're the incumbent, you're at a advantage. So right
Hmm.
now I was not the incumbent per se on, there at City Hall working. And the incumbency does have a advantage, and
Hmm.
that is you have resources to engage communities a little bit more so than just a regular candidate.
Right.
And so uh, uh, it's up to, I think churches, and I know
Hmm.
churches shouldn't dabble in politics, so they say,
Right.
but now that is no longer a law to where you can
Hmm.
lose your 501c3 if you're a church and you
Mm.
talk about politics. Yeah, that changed, I think, last year, so
Oh,
to
okay.
where they can now.
Hmm.
Um, but just talk about voting rights and the right to vote. You don't have to talk about a candidate,
Right.
right? At a community at whole, as our Black community, we got to do better,
We have
especially
to.
reaching our young.
Hmm. Exactly.
And there's a few organizations that's doing that. Like I said, FRRC, that's Florida's Right Restoration Coalition, Equal Grounds,
Hmm. Hmm.
I think the Women League to Voter. It's a host of different folks, but they choose their candidates too.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Yep. Yep.
it's still not on a level playing ground.
Yeah. What's your next move for the community? What is Regina
Uh,
Hill's
you,
next move?
I'm keep on moving. I'm
Hmm.
moving right now. I'm study, working with veterans,
Hmm.
working with families. People call me because of my knowledge and expertise.
Hmm.
I still help those that are experiencing homelessness. I haven't stopped working.
Yeah.
Uh, and my next move is to go back to City Hall to get my seat back. I'm in the middle of a civil lawsuit
Okay.
regarding the 2025 election. I'm
Hmm.
following up on that. Of course, I'm in the middle of vindicating my name and redemption
Hmm.
and the
Hmm.
other component. So those things. But right now, I'm in the midst of working with the VA,
Hmm.
working with the American Veterans Association to
Oh,
really focus on homeless veterans, veterans that
yes.
are experiencing mental health crises and substance abuse
Yes.
crises. So that's right now is in the interim or whatever happens
Hmm.
is going to be my major focus through my nonprofit.
Hmm.
Started a nonprofit about 8 years ago and a
Hmm.
consulting firm about 4 years ago, but I never really poured into it because I was too
Hmm.
busy doing the work of the people.
Right.
So now that I have some time, I'm going to focus on building that other
Hmm.
component that God gave me to
Yes.
help returning citizens. So it will be focused primarily on, like I said, on veterans and women and men that are in prison and returning home so that
Yeah.
they can get a solid foundation. And with me being the commissioner all those years and working in those spaces,
Hmm.
I'm certain I can make an impact in those areas right there.
And it's so important that people understand those veterans served our country.
Yeah,
They could have died for us. They left their families for us. No holidays. They're serving the country.
yeah,
So I commend you for that because I don't even know if Oh Lord, it's a
Well, I
responsibility.
was, prior to
It's a,
becoming commissioner, I sat on the board of the AMVETS. I was the first vice commander for a couple of years,
mhm.
second vice, and I ran the veterans outreach program for AMVETS Post 30.
Right.
So I was serving veterans prior to getting in office, and so it's a full circle. I'm just going back to do those things at a critical time,
Yeah.
such as this, but also pay attention for those folks that might be. And we have many veterans that, because of their PSTD and different
Yes.
issues and
Oh, true.
anxiety,
Yeah.
have been incarcerated and now returning home, or they're homeless and
Hmm.
sleeping on the streets of Orlando and throughout Central Florida,
Right.
that need somebody like Regina Hill,
They do.
a
Say that.
veteran,
Say that again. They need somebody
a
like who?
nurse, somebody like Regina Hill,
Come on now, clock
and a
that, Chris.
caring spirit that can help them find housing, can help them with job career, can help them take advantage of all the programs that I help build.
That's right. Someone here, Commissioner, says they want to partner with you. Okay, we have about two more questions, and then we'll get to that part of how you can contact her and all that good stuff.
And I'll answer a few questions too before we go.
Okay.
We still got, yeah, we got a few more
Okay. So
minutes.
if
Go
you
ahead.
have any questions, I have two more for her, and then we'll open the floor for a few more for Commissioner Hill. Okay. Thank you for that, Commissioner Hill, for
Indeed.
speaking on the veterans. Okay, so next question will be the advice you would give to someone who may be interested in running for a political office, the do's that come with it and the don'ts.
Oh, absolutely. You know, this is just my advice. This
Right.
is not the, you know,
Yeah.
the blueprint,
Yeah.
I would say, but most definitely start working with those that are already in the community serving.
Hmm.
Start volunteering, with different organizations that's out there doing work in the
Hmm.
community. Start working with your local
Yeah.
neighborhood
I was gonna say
association.
start with local.
Start there in
Yeah.
your own community first,
Hmm.
right? Um, I would attend some political functions and get to know people, and uh, join a campaign, be a
Hmm.
volunteer on a few campaigns. That's when I got the bug. I got the bug. I never thought about being commissioner. I got the bug working
Really?
on. No,
Hmm.
no,
I
no,
didn't know
no.
that.
I had no aspirations at all of being a politician. I got the bug when I start working on President Obama's first campaign.
Hmm. Hmm.
A matter of fact, well, guess who? Lawana Gelzer.
Wow. Shout out to her.
Well, I don't know
Wow.
about that. She hate my guts. No shout outs to her. She's trying to
No
kill
shout
me.
outs. No shout
But
outs. Never mind. No shout outs.
nah, that's being petty. But
No shout outs.
no, I
No.
don't. Well, I don't have any
Right. Yeah.
disdain for her, but
I
they
see what you mean.
despise
I
me.
understand. Hmm.
But yeah, I worked with her on a multitude of things in early 2010 to
Hmm.
2013, and I women's roundtable,
Hmm.
Black Women's Roundtable. We went and knocked on about 5,000. I personally knocked on about 5,000 doors for President Obama. And then
Mm.
I worked on the Sean Bradford
Hmm.
campaign,
Hmm.
worked on Tavares McCurdy campaign.
Okay.
And I got the bug and I said, wow, I want to serve. I want to go back and serve also, because I had gotten um, there in Paramore one day and
Hmm.
saw no park benches in my neighborhood park. And
Mm.
I asked a lot of questions on why are these kids sitting on the ground? Why isn't there any park benches or tables in this park in this black neighborhood?
Right.
And I later found out, I thought it was really racist that the city of Orlando would allow children to sit on the ground and not have park benches where people can come have birthday parties and things of
Right.
that nature. And the more that I dug into it and the more I tried to seek answers why, and I was just an everyday person,
Yeah.
not looking for anything. I later found out that the commissioner at that current time, my predecessor, had them removed because there was a big homeless issue at the park. Oh,
Oh,
it's right around the corner from a homeless shelter. And
okay.
so the people were coming there doing unimaginable things. But you cannot impact a community, and because you didn't deal with a homeless situation, now you just took away amenities for a whole community.
Right.
And they said, well, she's not going to put them back, and the only way they can go back is the commissioner put them back. So yeah, I said, well,
So
I'll
they
run for
can fire
commissioner.
you. Yes.
And
And
so
you
I
put
ran
them
for
back.
commissioner because of park benches
Yes. But you know what else
and
I got?
tables. But then
I
God did a whole new thing. It went
right.
bigger than park benches.
And I was gonna
But
say you ended up in the room. It all started with you entering yourself in the room.
well,
And
yeah,
then you did the work.
yeah, basically
Hmm.
fighting for others to just have park benches and a
Hmm.
table. It
Hmm.
wasn't nothing big. I had no
Right.
desires, and but the only way, and remember that I took it personal
Hmm.
because that's where I grew up
You
in
did.
that
That's right.
park. That was
Yep.
my safe haven. That's
Yeah.
where I got free lunch in the summer. That's where
Yeah.
all my great childhood memories were.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was an attack on me, even though I had no longer lived in that community.
Right.
When I saw it, I felt like injustice
It's still
happening.
home.
I decided to do something about it because it was in my home area.
Yes. It was like you
So
felt
that's what
obligated.
yeah,
Hmm.
I couldn't walk away. That's
Yeah.
usually how I am. When I see something that's wrong, I can't walk away. That's
Yes.
the nurse in me. That's the caregiver. That's the nurturer in me.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
to a fault, right? To a
Yes.
fault, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, that's what I would tell folks. Find a purpose. Don't let it be for a title.
Hmm.
Don't run for office for a title because you'll be a public success and a private failure,
Right. Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
If that's what you're looking for a title, if you're not looking for it to be a purpose and to transform a neighborhood, transform lives, I would say don't do it. I would say go into consulting because
Yes.
it's not an easy task if you do it the right way. You're gonna give so much of yourself that there'll be nothing left of yourself for real.
Right.
You're
You know,
gonna
I
your,
know.
your family you will your family's gonna lack. So
Hmm.
if you really got to be committed to be a true
Being
servant,
true.
and that's
Right.
just in anything, right? So
Yes.
if you don't want to give it 110%,
Don't do
if you don't do it,
it. Hmm.
if you don't have the ability to be attacked and still go do the work and get back up and go back in the fire, don't do it
Yes.
because one they'll celebrate you, but then they'll also try to destroy you. So you
Yep.
got this got to be your purpose
Yes.
because you're gonna go through the fire to get things done. And
Hmm.
it's just it's a lonely world. It's
It
gonna be a
is.
lonely. It's gonna be a lonely space
Yes.
because you're no longer your own
Right.
anymore. You're the
Hmm.
people's, and they,
Right.
and it's now you're not going to be where um nobody. Well, anyway, for me, everybody know my name. I was at the mall yesterday, and a guy sat down next to me, and he just kept looking. I'm just looking at him. He said, "Are you Regina Hill?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm
And
Regina." I say
is.
it everywhere I go, and he is. Yeah, I say and he is, right? I did say that. And he is. He was legit, probably about 40 years old, trying
Yeah.
to flirt a little bit. And so
Ooh.
I go, yeah, and he is. He said, "Oh, okay, I know I recognize you. I know I recognize." I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "Titusville." So
Mhm.
him and about 10 other brothers was in the Millennial from Titusville shopping. And I say, "Wow." Well, I tell you, I said, "Thank you, Channel 9." To my friends, bust out laughing
Yes.
because I'm on the news so often.
Yep.
But it is what it is. What do you do about it?
Right.
It's a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah. But I encourage people to go out and lead because
Yeah.
everyone can do a part. And if that's something that you want to do, don't think that you got to have big name,
Right.
a big platform. You
Right.
just need a heart to serve. That's
And
what I would say.
it's something that sticks with me. Shout out to Dr. Bishop Frank E. Thompson, my former pastor at the Worship Center in Orlando. It's something that he said to me the night of the debut of Flavor Productions in 2008. I went back in the room and I was just in his office with his wife, and I was just so frustrated because I didn't want to change. I didn't want to change anything about me. I just wanted to be the little country girl, Keisha, talk Geechee, whatever. And he told me, he said, this walk is going to be lonely, but you're going to
Mhm.
have to change. But
Yes.
God's going to change you for the better. You're going to have to
Oh yeah.
change. And I said, well, such and such came with this company, and such came with that company. He looked me in my eyes with his glasses. He said, but you're Keisha Rivers.
Yeah.
God's going to come with Keisha Rivers.
Yeah.
And that has always stuck with me. Like you said, you don't have to have a big name. Just be yourself, you know.
Yeah.
And now when people meet me and they talk to me or inbox me or whatever, they go, you a heavy hitter, or your name carries weight. I had to ask one person, shout out to Barry Williams. He's now on Tyler Perry. He was
Yeah.
in our stage play debut. But anyway, he said something to me one day in the interview. He said, your name carry weight. I don't think you realize how much weight your name carry. And that stuck with me. And shout out to Dr. Myra Sherman, Pastor Myra Sherman. She told me the same thing recently. She said, sweetheart, I don't think you realize who you really are. And my prayer lately has been, Lord, show me who I am, because to me, I'm just Reddick, Florida country girl, single mom, raised my son, and I'm just me. But
Yeah.
I'm so glad you let them know that it's time's gonna be lonely. There's many a times that I've had, I'm like, okay, I know I can call this person for this. I know I could talk to this person about that. But when you really, really are a visionary, a lot of people just don't get where you at. And then sometimes they even turn against you.
Uh,
Some of the main people you thought was on, you like, oh, we doing this now. Oh, I got it. But the Holy Spirit always bring back to my remembrance what Dr. Thompson told me, Pastor Myra Sherman told me. My parents would teach me. My mom told me at 16, Keisha, life is what you make it. She didn't say it came with this one and that one too, or that one too. Life is what I make it. So I have to
right.
remember, we always have to remember, when we walk in alone, when we feel like we're alone, God is covering us, but it doesn't have to do with this person or that person. It's how we perceive life, how we
Oh,
make it.
absolutely. But what I was saying, more say, it wasn't about walking alone. Politics is a lonely
I just had to add
journey.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Politics is a lonely journey because you don't know who to trust.
You don't.
You have
And
a
and
lot of
that's
people around you.
and that's industry. You just don't
Yeah,
know. You don't know. People looking at I don't want to get into titles, but people looking at this person in office, or people looking at that person over the world or whatever, if we can read between the lines, they have a lot of people around them. And it's something even Michael Jackson said, rest in peace. Yes, I know a lot of people. Yes, I have a lot of siblings, but I still feel alone.
right.
I never understood that until actually what I'm doing now in industry. You
Right.
still feel alone. So
Right.
thank you for that. Thank you for that. All
But
right. So
the work makes it worthwhile.
it does. It really does.
Yeah.
And people don't understand, a lot of favor comes with it too.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
God for
Oh,
grace. Thank God for
absolutely.
mercy.
I don't know how. I know it's nothing but the prayers of the saints and people like
Yes.
yourself and the favor of the Lord that I'm still here in my right
Yes.
mind.
Yes.
Because what I've gone through a lot of trauma in life, but this one here
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to take me out. I haven't worked in
Mm,
2 years. I haven't gotten a check in 2 years, but God is still sustaining me.
that favor. Ooh,
I
Lord
still have a
Jesus.
decent car to drive. Things are
Yes.
still, I still have a place to live. I got my house being
Yes.
renovated. But thank God that I was someone that didn't live above my means, no matter
Right.
what they're saying.
Right.
I was always very frugal and a saver, uh, and never really cared about designer this or that. Like a
Mm-hmm.
little, I like nice things, but No, I'm
Yes.
not into, the it girl. So I don't have any losses. My biggest
Mhm.
loss is really um a few things. The lady that I cry about that every day.
Yes.
Uh my
Yes.
daughter. So those human losses are what bothers me much.
And I
You know.
always think about that when you're running, or when I see you campaigning, or when I see you just out speaking. I
Yeah.
always think of her and how
Yeah.
you're raising Pappy. I always
Yeah.
think about those type of things like that.
Well, oh yeah, and those things, those traumas, especially with my daughter. You know, uh, one of the things that if I had any regrets on this campaign, and I
Hmm.
tried to stay away from it, is one day at early voting, they devised a plan, meaning my opponent, Sharon Rose, and her campaign manager, Sandra Lewis, devised a plan to come out there with mugshot T-shirts on,
Hmm.
the canvassers, and to pick a pick a argument with one of my workers, and then they start to talk about my dead daughter and mother, and it triggered me. It triggered me, and not to fight, but I wanted her to say it again, and it was captured on
Thank
video,
you.
and I shared it, and it looked like I was getting ready to fight, and it
I
showed me
didn't see that.
in a bad way. It did,
Mm.
and I'll be honest, I've never had a fight since grade school, so I'm not a fighter. But it made
Right.
me look, because people want to make me look like a thug, or
Yeah.
label me, and so that's the worst thing. But I was triggered because it was coming up on her 35th birthday, which was almost coming up, and daily when I care for my grandson, who I love,
Mhm.
love, love. But you have to know, people have to know, and this is not just me. I'm certain this is all grandparents who's raising their deceased loved one child.
Mhm.
Is you think just when you wake up and go to sleep, you look at them and you think about your loss. So that type of trauma, compound on what I'm going through, to these folks, which is not gonna happen because I got a great lawyer to prove myself. But
Mhm.
I said, wow, they want me gone for real. They're talking about I'm facing 100+ years and nobody's dead nowhere. I say,
Mhm.
wow, these folks really hated me, man. That
Mhm.
hurts.
And people have to understand you're still human at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
that did hurt. And I think about the time, and I don't know if you remember this, but when it first happened with your daughter, you had to keep going, but it was
Oh
something
yeah.
you said. You said, with my grandson, I just hope and pray that I'm able to live a long, long life to see him grow older.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that
Yep.
stuck with me. That stuck with me.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that's why I would never do anything to jeopardize me not being here. So
yes.
so this is why, it bothers me so with what I'm facing,
Yeah.
that they would try to do that or say that I did something like that. There's I would never ever jeopardize leaving his side because the only thing he got is me. So to see these political games being played for a seat,
Right.
uh, to try to imprison me and take me away from my grandson isn't my fear. I know I'm gonna be all right, but it does hurt. And now he's 13 and he's
He's
resilient,
13
but
now.
he knows, he has Instagram, he has Facebook.
Yeah. See,
He sees
yeah.
he sees all of that and he knows about it. And if he don't see it, he has friends
Right.
that
That'll
sees
tell
it, or
him what's going
parents
on.
that might be
Mm-hmm.
talking about it. And of course kids talk. And so, I've had conversations with him and he seems to be, kid's not gonna tell you. I ask him is how he's doing with all this, and I try to keep him busy. But that's been the worst thing. One of the worst things about what I'm going
Yeah.
through is the impact it's had on my family and friends, and especially my grandchildren, because I have a
Yeah.
granddaughter too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's 16. But
I
they
think
see
about
their
that.
nana strong. They see me
Yeah.
pushing on, so I try to stay up so that they don't have fears that
And when
something's gonna happen to me.
that happened with her, I said to myself, I never asked you this, but I said, is she gonna keep run? Is she gonna keep going? Is she gonna stay out? Like me personally, my mind would have been, I don't. But then I think about you had to keep going. You
Yeah,
had to, because she would have wanted you to keep going.
yeah.
And then also, like you said, you felt obligated to the
In
community
my
because that's
community,
where you
yeah.
grew up. That was your
Well, no, well,
obligation.
no, yeah, but the city, period. I don't know if it's
Yes.
the military in me or whatever. Uh, but I had no choice. You can't
Yes.
when people have elected you to serve,
You have to
you
serve.
can't stop because their lives are now dependent upon you and
Yes.
decisions that you make for them and the next generation. So I took that job
Yes,
on
you
another
did.
level
You
of not
did.
just a title or
Yes.
no, I knew that people livelihoods, their health, their sanity, their children, their prosperity, all that depended upon me making sure that policy and resources went back in their direction,
Right.
and that I was in those rooms where they couldn't be, but their voice was there. Now, sometimes the people didn't like what I was saying because I'm Ida B. Wells. I be channeling the spirit of Ida B. Wells. And
Right.
so, but one thing they did know that anytime that I spoke, I was always advocating and fighting for the people.
Yes, you
Not
were.
I wasn't, matter of fact, uh, investigation was done on me at City Hall too.
Mm.
And they couldn't find $1 displaced.
See?
They couldn't find one person that I asked for a job for someone or contract or kickback.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that investigation had been closed. So um, but yeah, so I pride myself on being honest and fighting for
Yes.
people. And that's
Integrity.
something the developers, when I would go in those rooms or whomever, they knew that I wasn't going in those rooms for myself, that
Yes.
I was going in those rooms to fight for my community. And when I came out, we could come out in a unified effort, but the community was going to win. And I didn't mind them winning either. I
That's
just
right.
wanted everybody to win, not
That's
just a
right.
few, and not just the rich.
You have done, so I can't even put into words how remarkable you have changed that community. You have done so amazing. Just, and I get teary eyed sometimes when I think about like your testimony, how far you've come. You have always stood 10 toes.
But you know what, Keisha? Before we get rid, know what I'm most proud of is that I was able to give the community support and a voice to where now, even with my departure, they're
Yes.
strong. They're
Yes.
resilient. They now know how to
Yes.
fight for themselves
Oh,
and
that's
speak for
good.
themselves.
That's
So
good.
whether I'm there or not, now they have true warrior mentality, and now they have been emboldened and
Yes.
empowered. And it don't matter who's there, that
Yes.
they will speak on their
They will
own behalf.
activate their
They'll
voice.
activate.
Yes.
So I think that's the greatest gift that I was able to give the community,
Yes.
is to empower them to not just need me to do the speak. Now
Hmm.
they can be that force, right? And now I'm no longer there, but they're still strong.
Yes. And it's crazy that you mentioned that. We're gonna have one more, then I'm gonna open the floor. Um, Recently I had a shift in Keisha. It was a good shift,
Yeah,
but it's kind of like when babies leave home, they're always welcome back. But
right.
they gotta go out and they gotta experience and experiment and do what they need to do. So I reached out to quite a bit of people because I realized I can't be there for everybody.
Right.
because it was at a point in my life now where it's a different season. I love everybody. If you need me, I'm here, but I just can't feel obligated anymore. You're an adult, you got to go out and do your thing. So now with my Flavor babes, when I sit back and I watch, I said, you know what? That's just evident of the journey.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud. Whether we talk or not, and I still talk to a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
But I also had to realize at the end of the day, I've done the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that takes me back to what you just said about them activating their voice. Because a lot of times people will come back and go, I seen such and such. Oh my God, I seen him. And I think about Flavor. Oh my God. And I said, yep, that's that
Yeah.
mark. But they're
Seed to
doing
the
their
ground.
thing, but that's that, yes. And
Seed
I
to the
sit back
ground.
like Mr. Miyagi when Karate Kid won and he said, that's
Yeah.
what I think about. So
Yeah. Indeed.
with that, Commissioner Hill, that's actually been our interview. I do have two more things. How can people reach you if they wanted to book you? And then if they wanted to just have a social media live, or what's your way of being contacted? What's your best way, how people can reach you?
Of course, they can inbox me on Instagram or Facebook. It's real Regina Hill, real underscore Regina Hill on Instagram. Of course, Regina Hill on Facebook. Or my email is NITENURS 41 at Gmail. That's night nurse 41 at gmail.com. And I take I read my emails daily. So yeah, I still use my nurse's email.
I love
I was
you.
a night nurse. I was a night nurse.
I love you. I love you, Commissioner Hill. I always will. I always stand 10 toes. And I'm so reminded of your walk that inspires me when the times get the toughest.
Oh yeah.
The people that stay, those your people. Those your people. So you got a lot of people that were mad. Like I'm mad, you know.
Don't
But
be mad.
I
God
love
ain't
you.
finished yet. Let me
He's
tell you,
not.
I'm not mad.
He's
I am
not.
not mad because sometimes things are for a season. My grandchildren and their children will ride through this city and said, "My grandmama helped build it. My
That's
grandma did that." So I'm not mad.
that's
People
it.
lives. There's some great work that happened, but
Yeah.
God isn't finished with me yet. It's
And
no
not to
need to get mad.
and I don't want to take away from whoever else and all, none of that. It's
No,
just that
I'm not mad.
I
I'm
just
not mad.
always
I'm
want
not.
you to just be there.
Yeah, and you
So,
just don't know
yeah.
what God's up to. So I
We
have
don't.
to.
We
So
don't.
that's me. I'm okay with whatever God have, but
Yes.
I'm a fighter. So
Yes.
I'm fighting for what I know is right. But if
Yes.
it doesn't manifest, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
You are. And
God's
guess
given me so many gifts to help people. I remember I'm a
yes.
night nurse for one,
You are.
right? When this is
Yeah.
behind me, I still have my nursing degree,
Mhm.
but now I want to focus on veterans and those folks if this isn't what God has for me
And it could be a
for
better
right
setup.
now.
A
So
better
I don't know.
setup.
What's
Hmm.
supposed to break you makes you better. And then God
Yes.
sometimes take people through a season so they can see what they don't have.
Yes.
So
Ooh, ooh. Preaching.
I'm okay with whatever God's doing.
Yes.
I'm not gonna
Yes.
fight for whatever God's doing in this
Yes.
season, and I'm most definitely ain't gonna be mad because what I
Yes.
do know, God don't make no mistakes, and
Yes.
everything that God does in my life is for my good.
Come on now.
So
Y'all,
I praise Him.
she
I
preaching to
praise Him
all
for
of
it
us.
all.
She
For
preaching
it
to all of
all.
us, y'all. Y'all
It
better
ain't
catch
nothing
these
but
nuggets.
if I hadn't listen to this, if I had the stuff that they ridicule and try to embarrass me and shame me of, if I hadn't gone through that yesterday all way back then, I wouldn't have been able to build what I was able to build. That was part of the journey.
That's right.
That was part of my why.
Yes.
Whatever you go through, you change that and you make something great out of it. So
Yes.
this is just another chapter
Mm.
in my great book.
All
So
things work together for the
and
good.
all for those
Mm,
that love
mm,
the
mm,
Lord. So I
mm.
know we celebrate these
Yeah.
times. We
Yeah.
don't get angry, and we don't talk, oh Lord, as if all is lost.
That's
No,
right.
all is won. We
Yes.
don't talk in a defeated mindset.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
no, that's what I said. My friend, we were just together today. She said, "Girl, the world can't steal your joy, can it?" She said, "You look so good the other night with CC Tennille smiling and laughing." And I said, "And girl, I was having a good time with
Shout
CC
out to
Tennille."
Cece Tendille.
So there's been some great people that just
Yes.
have been so good to me. But God is so good to me. So
Yes.
I'm not angry, I'm not mad, but I'm standing on business.
That's right. Come on, stand on it. And you look good standing on it. Okay.
You
All
ain't
right.
seen
So
none yet.
that concludes our interview. But I want to see if anyone has any questions for you, Commissioner Hill. And while we're waiting on any questions, do you have anything else you want to say to anybody?
No, I just came on for you and wanted to just speak and wish everybody, Feliz Navidad, Happy Hanukkah,
Yeah.
Happy Kwanzaa. I mean, I know this is sometime a rough time for people that have
Mhm.
had loss and missing their
Yes.
loved ones. And I know it's some awful times right now for those
Yes.
that might be financially strapped, but you still have breath. And tomorrow is a new day. And just
Yes.
be encouraged and stay encouraged.
Yes.
If I'm not a living testimony that God is still able to sustain you no
That's
matter
right.
what, he
Yeah.
will do it. He's
Yes.
not a respectable God. If he
Yes.
did
He's
it
not.
for me, he'll surely do it for you. And I say 2026 is the year of restoration and recovering it
Oh,
all.
yes.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
ready for
those
that.
Oh, absolutely. Whatever might
Mhm.
have been stolen or lost, God is
Yes.
going to restore it. He's going to do it better. It's going to be a great year. So
Yes.
I say start just getting ready for the overflow.
Exactly. And that's what it's gonna be. I've gotten invited to a few New Year's Eve parties. And I said, before I go anywhere, I'm going to the house of the Lord, honey. I told all of them, I will see y'all. I may see y'all after, because in church I might be snotting, and God reminded me of what done happened
Yeah.
with these fires and how he kept me and all this
How he
stuff.
kept you.
I might be laid out on that floor.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, so we
Yeah.
have Donna Griffith said that she's gonna contact you to potentially partner with you, and then Dr. Pastor Sherman said she just got home, so she'll relook at it to see if there's anything that
Okay.
she's in. Yep, and then Trish Martin just got home as well. Dana is reaching out, just sending her love. So I don't really
Okay.
see any other questions. Is that Viola? Viola's been saying a
Ah,
lot.
Viola, that's my girl.
Viola Turner. Kevin
Yeah.
Sutton. Kevin Sutton says, "Rip to all that have passed."
Kevin, that's
There's
my
so many of
guy.
these. There's so many comments. Oh my goodness, there's so many.
Yeah.
But this live, you all, will be up for 30 days. Facebook does take it down, but what I'm going to, Sean Mincy said she's a veteran. I think she wants to speak to you. She's suffering with PTSD, and she says it's a struggle daily with
So
her.
yeah, so I'm in the midst of planning here in the month of February a outreach where I will be bringing in some counselors and those from the
Mhm.
VA to help people with their benefits and help them get activated and to
Yes.
get therapy and whatever they might need from the mental health and wellness component, along with compensation. So I'm working
Wow.
on that right now. And I'll be announcing that and doing a flyer. So we'll
Yes.
be doing that in February.
Okay, wonderful. I will get with Sean. She's actually my cousin, so I'll let her know. Hey, Sean.
Okay.
Wendy Slater says, "Hi, Miss Regina.
Hey,
Awesome
Wendy.
interview, Miss Regina Hill." There's so many comments. I can't read all these comments, but thank you guys for it's so many. I'm going through all of them now. But somebody said we love you,
Love you
sis.
more. Happy
That's you,
holidays.
Maria Javon. I
Oh,
think
yes.
yes. So,
That's
but
my
there's
sister.
yes, but there's something that I want to end with this
Yeah.
live with. you have really inspired me. I mean, just not just today, but just you are so inspiring. I really want you to know that you are just so inspiring. And I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad that you are continuing to do the work. And I think
Yes.
of that when I hear that, and I get chills when I remember you saying that, because it's continuing to do the work,
The
you
work
know,
continues.
it continues. So is there anything else? Because I want to introduce, next week we have Sarah Randolph. She may be listening live, her and her husband. We have next Monday, tentatively. Things can change. Y'all know things can change, but there was a movie that was done by a familiar producer. I'll leave his name out because I didn't get permission for his credit. But it's called Four Colored Girls. And they died in a school bombing. But there was a fifth girl that lived. A lot of people do not know that there were actually five. The sister died, but there's a sister that's alive to share her story, and it is horrific. So she will be our guest next Monday, and I will let everybody know the time and all that. We do have the time, but in case it changes, I don't want to put that out there now. But that will be next week's guest. If you guys want to contact me for anything, we will be able to, and I'm saying we, and like I got people with me, me, but speaking professionally, Conversations with Keisha Kente, we will be going live more often, but not often because of my schedule. I work several job
And
assignments.
I'm working on a podcast.
Yay! And you know what? Book, 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 book.
Yeah, yeah.
I see it
Store's
written
out.
out.
Store's not completed yet, so
I see it
almost.
written
We're
all over your
almost
face.
there.
Brenda Robinson says, "A blessing to you. You are Regina Hill."
You
Brenda
are.
Robinson just came
Thank
in.
you, Brent.
So if you guys want to contact me, I'm on all platforms under my name, Keisha Rivers, but with two E's. And then TikTok is Queen of Faith, but instead of the F being faith, it's the number 4.
Yeah.
And tonight's episode will be uploaded to all of my sites, so you can check it out anywhere. Okay, so you never know where we're coming from. So with that being said, some more stuff coming in, but it's so much. They love you,
I know.
Commissioner Hill. Is
That's
there
why.
anything else
That's
you
why
want
I
to
wanted.
say?
That's why I wanted to come on your platform. Not come on your platform, but I know you gave me the option to do it on my live.
Right.
So
Yeah.
no, I wanted to bring people over
Thank
to your
you.
Facebook,
Thank
so
you.
that you can they can see who Keisha Rivers is.
And you
Because
know what?
I love and adore you.
I appreciate that, because I always give all the guests like an option what they want to do, because I don't know the
Yeah,
back end of why they don't want to do whatever. But thank you for letting me know why you want them to, know who I am. That means so
yeah,
much to me, because I do
yeah,
need to do better with that. So thank you for that.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. All right, everybody.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas to you. Feliz Navidad, all that good stuff. But
Thank
I
you.
love you. You know I love you. I'm always here for you. I got you. 10 toes down. Okay.
Thank you. See
And for
everybody
everybody
later.
else, thank you so much for tuning in. And just remember, she is Regina Hill, Commissioner Regina Hill is continuing to do the work. Good night,
Indeed.
everybody.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Love you.